Hey, what's good, everyone? I'm Brian Sampson from Dunking with Wolves, and today I'm coming at you with this sort of depressing video breakdown about the Minnesota Timberwolves defense, and specifically about their pick and roll defense, and specifically about Karl-Anthony Towns, because I feel like Towns and the Timberwolves pick and roll defense was exploited and exposed on national TV on Thursday night against the Houston Rockets. So I'm going to show you how they were really targeting Towns in that pick and roll and how Minnesota did not respond and some of the things that they can improve on moving forward, because that is going to be a huge aspect about their playoff success come April and May. So without further ado, let's dive in. Before I begin, I'd like to preface this by saying James Harden and Chris Paul are two of the very best in the pick and roll and will exploit the tiniest of weaknesses in any team's pick and roll defense. With that being said, Minnesota typically runs two types of pick and roll defenses depending on who the big man defending the screener is. With Towns, they implement a soft hedge coverage. That means when the ball screen is being set, Towns drops a little bit off his man and into the lane while the on-ball defender fights over the top of the screen. Towns' goal is to force a ball handler into a pull-up jumper or buy enough time until his man can recover. The other type of coverage is run specifically with Taj Gibson, and it's the simple switch. Due to Gibson's versatility, Tom Thibodeau trusts him switching onto guards more often. Thus, if his man sets a screen, especially on Jimmy Butler or Andrew Wiggins, they execute the simple switch. Alright, with that being said, the soft hedge with Towns was where the Rockets tactically exploited the Wolves' defense. Let's begin by breaking down Cat's positioning on this ball screen midway through the second quarter. Houston loves to set an extremely high ball screen to start possessions, and that's what they do here. Cat looks as if he's getting in position for their ice pick and roll coverage, which means he'd be calling for Crawford to force his man toward the baseline. However, they are too close to the middle for this call, and Crawford's positioning doesn't tell us that he heard it correctly. Whatever the mix-up was, this causes Towns to be at the elbow when the ball screen is set and slightly out of position to begin with. Crawford then gets caught up in the screen, meaning he has no chance of recovering and putting Towns in a 2-on-1 situation. Harden almost loses the ball, but Towns is out of position to begin with and is dropping even further into the lane, so he's in no position to knock it loose. Harden recovers the ball and drives deep into the lane, and that's when we see Towns' Christmas pass come back. He flails his arms in the air and does a mini hop that helps nobody as Harden drops a sweet bounce pass right into Nene's pocket for the layup. Here's what that type of coverage should look like out of Towns. Nene begins by flipping his screen toward the baseline, which is fine because that's right where the big man is helping. As the screen's being set, Towns has both feet right inside the three-point line and understandably backs up as Paul dribbles at him. When Paul pulls up from downtown, Towns is in good position to get his arms up and contest a shot, forcing a difficult jumper that goes in. Cat did everything he was supposed to on this go-round. Even though this is an extremely difficult situation, here's another example of Towns not doing his job. After Nene sets the ball screen toward the baseline, Cat's initially in a prime position to defend the play until Butler can recover. He does a good job of sliding his feet, buying time, and keeping Harden in front of him. But the issue comes when Harden gets ready to make the pass to Nene. Towns should keep his body parallel with Harden, so that if the pass is made, he can either knock it away or easily slide his feet in front of the roller. Unfortunately, he slightly tries to kick it and then has to turn completely around to even see where his defender is. This puts him in no position to have any impact on the play whatsoever. Where things get even more complicated for Towns in Minnesota's pick and roll coverage is after Gibson has switched onto a guard and then Towns' man sets a screen on Gibson. Minnesota's rules state Gibson switches with the wings, but also that Towns and Gibson switch on screens, meaning Towns should switch onto Gibson's man in this situation. However, Towns shows no interest in switching onto Paul or even helping as he sinks further and further into the lane after the ball screen. This leaves Gibson on an island to fight through Nene's burly screen on his own, and the Timberwolves give up an easy 3. Lastly, even his weak side help on the pick and roll left Minnesota vulnerable on Thursday night. On this play, he's guarding Mbah a Moute, the worst shooting wing on the floor. When the ball screen is set on the strong side, he's standing perpendicular to the wing and shows no anticipation that Capella will be rolling to the rim, almost as if he's never seen the Rockets run a pick and roll before. When the pass is made, then he's way too late to be in a help position and simply runs under Capella as he's throwing down the yam. So as you can see, this was not a good look for the Timberwolves and for Karl-Anthony Towns. And this was the Towns we have not been accustomed to seeing over the last month or so. This was the Towns of Christmas past, which no, that's not the Towns we like. That's not a good Towns. But he has all the skill and all the ability to turn things around here moving forward, and I have confidence that he can do so. Minnesota still plays Houston 2 more times this year. And if they end up getting the 3 seed, they could see the Rockets in the second round of the playoffs if they advance that far. So they got to figure this out. In the meantime, I really appreciate you guys taking the time to check out my video. I'd appreciate it even more if you guys would subscribe to my channel, give this video the old thumbs up, and for all your Timberwolves related news, you can follow me on Twitter at BrianSampsonNBA. Hope to see you guys next time. Thanks, Wolves fans.